Oh, look at that. Just look at that. Let's talk about the Turbografx 16, guys. This is a story about quality over quantity. Guys, this is a beloved console by many, many people. Remembered because, it was just something different in the market at that time. And one of the reasons that this console deserves, the reputation of it has as far as being something that really draws on a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people because of the few people that actually got to own it, knew how special this console was. And it really is a story about quality over quantity. I was lucky enough to pick one of these up. If you're able to see one in the wild, I suggest you do pick them up. If you're a fan of retro gaming, you should. Anything that needs to be said about this console has been said, let's face it. But the reason I make these videos and I go over these is just to share my personal experiences and share them with you. Maybe you had some of the same ones, and there's always, stories that are just different for every person. One thing that happened to me with this is I remember purchasing a lot of these items through the Recycler, which was the Craigslist back in its day. It was an old magazine. If you guys are Gen Xers, especially from California, you will remember it, probably from the west side of the country. And it was just a newspaper that you would buy for like $1.25. And it was literally the Craigslist of its time. Just imagine Craigslist just printed. And you would have all these ads, for companies that would sell things. And most of all, you would have people selling video games, used video games. And that's where I purchased my Turbografx. And, one of the things with this machine that people tend to forget is that it had a variety of games. And the games were really quality. They stood out. There were so few and far between. And I was lucky enough to buy just a bunch of them all at once because, these people, I remember it cost me $110, right? I think I haggled, for $130. There were some younger kids that were selling it, but, of the things that I remember playing, I just playing them because I had it was Dungeon Explorer, Victory Run. I remember I played that game so much, and it was very interesting for me because it was a racing game where you have to shift gears, and even at that point, less and less people knew how to actually drive a stick shift car. That's when it began, right? People start driving automatic, and I knew how to drive stick shift because my very first car was a stick shift, and I really enjoyed that game. Ninja Spirit, and this is stuff that's in the collection here, guys. Ninja Spirit, Bonk, of course, that's what everybody remembers. Splatterhouse, geez, the classic. I remember Ninja Spirit. One thing that is very weird about this console for me, right? And this is just a personal experience, guys. And and I'm not a superstitious person or believe in the supernatural or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you a personal story that happened to me, and I think I've told it before in the channel years ago. Is that I actually had deja vu with this game right here, Legendary Axe. And the reason this stands out is because I had a dream about playing a game like Legendary Axe. And the thing was that I talked about my dream openly the next day because it was so, vivid and interesting, and I started telling, my wife at the time and, my friends, like, I had this dream about this game that was like Mario, but it wasn't. It's sort of like this Aztec guy, and he was just throwing this thing around with like a rope, and and it had a steel tip on it, and I started describing the game that I had played, right? And then it was like a year later when I bought this, and I was just like, what the, like, I got that deja vu feeling, but the confirmation was that I talked about it. Like, I openly talked about what I had dreamt about. Really weird. It's never happened to me in that way, right? Like, I've had deja vu before, but not to the point where I actually, have a dream and actually talk about it with people and then it actually happens. It's just really weird. Yeah, which is one of those things, right? But the other thing people forget about this particular console, right? It's also the PC Engine. And in the PC Engine version of the console, they were able to fit Street Fighter 2, which is incredible. You know, these little hue cards. One of the things that makes this console so expensive is people don't really sell this stuff. When they really sell it, they sell the entire collection. And when, you know, when shops have it, they sell it at full price. They want top dollar for it because they know people will pay it because, you know, these are the kind of games you don't let go. I'm not going to sell this ever for any reason. Right? This is going to be part of my collection. This is, and I'm the same way with every game, but, you know, this would be one of the last things that I would ever consider selling, you know. And if I had to get rid of everything, the Turbografx would be one of the consoles that I would just not touch, right? I like it, you know. I mean, it's that kind of console. I would let go of other consoles before I do that. But it also had Snatcher, for example. If you haven't sampled this this library, guys, and I'm not going to say go out and buy it because it's nuts. I mean, the collection that I have, I can tell you right now, I could go sell it. I really wouldn't have to haggle much, and I could go buy a used car with what I have here. That's how much the prices are going for right now. It's not, you know, if you can get a mini, you can try it that way. Of course, there's emulation. But if you're really somebody who's never played it or is trying to look for more retro game options, man, play this. You know, I'm telling you, play it. You will find games in there that you would never thought you would enjoy in the regular library. Number one, you know, you had, oh, geez. I mean, look, just going through this right here. Blazing Lasers. Oh, my gosh. Splatterhouse would be another one. But, you know, going into the PC Engine, you also have Snatcher. You know, in the US version, Lords of Thunder. I mean, there's so many games that you could play that are retro games, that are genuine, that are different. You know, and that's what really makes this library stand out, because there was so much variety. Dragon Spirit, oh my gosh. You know, I mean, I could just go game by game by game, and every game is different, but every game is enjoyable. You know, there's just games that stay with you. Ninja Spirit was ahead of its time. I couldn't believe that was coming out of this little machine. And let me tell you, it was a great game. It was a great game. And you can still go enjoy it now. And let me tell you, if you play it today, it's something that, you know, Atari should re-release on the 7800 if the machine can pop it out, and I'm pretty sure it can, right? Because it could do other things. I mean, you can emulate with a game station. Sometimes, you know, it just depends how you have your system set up. But, you know, just emulate it anywhere. This is a library that deserves to be discovered. If you're a retro gamer, and let's say that you haven't played the games, you should sample them. But if you haven't played these games in a while, let me tell you, go back to them. Go back to them. You know, this library is like this, and I have to clean it all the time because I'm always messing around with my games. You know, I still play my games. My Atari boxes, my Intellivision boxes, you know, are not in the best shape because I don't keep my games just to stack them up. I'm not a shelf collector. I actually play my games. One of the reasons I don't live stream, for example, because I have very little time. Right? I'm a full-time, you know, dad. And, you know, I spend time with my grandkids, and I do a lot of family stuff. It's very important to me. So you know, the little time that I have, I spend it gaming, or, you know, and because a lot of my free time is taken up by just my family responsibilities. But when I get to play, you know, I get to play these games, and every game up here is pretty much up here for a reason. There's very few fillers in here that I have. Everything that I've curated over the years, I bought it because I wanted to play it at the time. I got a good deal. And, you know, there's some collections that I don't have a lot of stuff like this, for example. But the games that I do have, let me tell you, when it comes to the Turbografx, man, some of these games are beloved. And you would be missing out if you don't go explore that library, guys. I don't know what you guys remember from that time. What I remember, you know, from when I got the console is a recycler and just being on there all the time, trying to get another game, you know, and another game besides the ones that I purchased originally with the console. And that's how I got the little library that I have. You know, today it would be very hard, you know, if you have the money, hey, go ahead and do it, you know. But if you can get the mini, or if you don't have the ability to get it right now, go emulate it. You'll have a great time. All you need is a basic emulator out there. Get a Xbox controller, and you're ready to rock, man. Let me tell you, you will not regret it. You will not regret playing. If you love retro games, you will not regret playing the Turbografx library. All right, guys, that's my thoughts for today. I'm getting back. I just had a cold. I have more ideas, for the channel, and I'll talk about them later today on the members only video, because that's where I do all my brainstorming and stuff. And I have a few ideas. I thank you guys for putting up with the AI slop, as the kids say today, that I've been putting out. I do want to explore that. I want to explore that space, right? I want a little more cowbell, because I really want to do some skits with old stuff that I used to enjoy. The one thing about AI, it does give you the ability to explore some subjects. Like I love 70s shows. I love those variety shows. I grew up in the time of the Brady Bunch. I was watching the $6 Million Man, the Hulk back then, all those shows, from back in the day. The 70s variety shows that were kind of corny. Scooby-Doo, Hanna-Barbera, oh my gosh. There's just a lot to cover, a lot of stuff that I want to talk about besides video games. Some would be on the members only, because it's not really, it doesn't really belong to the channel. But a lot of it does have to do with the times where I was playing video games, and I might want to make videos on those experiences. So hopefully you guys will stick around. Thank you so much, guys, for being patient with me where, I got sick. I'm still, I came off a treatment yesterday, so my throat's a little bit better. I'm still not 100%, and my voice, unfortunately, for those of you who've been around for a while, that my voice has changed, and there isn't anything that I'm going to be able to do about that. But I will still be making videos, and, with the help of AI, make a little bit more content for you. Hopefully you will find it entertaining. Guys, thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, and support it.